What is up, everybody? It is me, Juliet here. Today, it's getting miraculously harder, although I shouldn't say miraculous because it's actually a bad thing, but it's getting increasingly harder to get people on the phone. And here's what I mean by that, you guys. I have been approached by some of the top gurus in the online expert space. So meaning agency owners, consultants, coaches, some really pretty top names out there. And they've come to me and they've even companies that you don't really know the expert, but the company itself is pretty well known. So some really big CRM system came to me, a software company that I know that you know. And they were talking and we're it's getting increasingly more difficult to get people on the phone. So before you would just run an ad and it would go to an Optin Page, to a webinar, to asking people to book. And that was the original way of getting people on the phone. For the CRM system or the software company, they had, people would buy their entry level software, but then they'd want them to buy this other package of software, right? And so the way that they were going to sell that upsell was on the phone, because it was a $10,000, $20,000 package for companies, which included custom software, coding, so on and so forth. And they're we used to just because we have hundreds of thousands of users of the CRM system software, because it's a big company. Very honored that they had called me. But we have hundreds of thousands of users, and we used to just send out an email once a month asking them to book a call with us and get a free consult. They'd book their consults and we'd get them on the phone and we'd sell them our $20,000 custom coding thing, right? And they're it's getting more difficult. We're not booking the same amount of calls, but we're not doing anything differently. Several other agency owners and coaches that come to me, they're it's getting so much more expensive to get someone on the phone. It used to be $100, then it was $150, then it's $200 if you're lucky, to get someone on the phone from paid. One of my newest mentorship students, she had actually combined her data on accident, her organic traffic and her paid traffic, into one, so it looked like her cost per call was really decent. But when we started to separate the organic call she was booking from the paid call she was booking, she was actually paying a lot of money per call. Actually, most of my mentorship students, my private mentorship students, have that same issue. So there's these rising costs incurred with getting people on the phone. And the only logical thing that you can think of for something like this is two reasons. One is the level of competition is rising both in quantity and in quality. Okay? So of course, the costs are going to go up when you're fighting for advertisement ad space, as there's more competitors, right? If there's no competitors in your market, ad space is very easy to come by. It's very inexpensive. It's very easy to get people on the phone, right? But when you're paying Facebook and you're hey, help me book calls, and this other guy's paying Facebook, help me book calls, it's just getting more and more expensive, right? And so because of that, you guys, level of competition, but also quality, the competition is getting better. They're getting more creative. They're coming out with new innovative ways to get people on the phone. And I'm going to share some of those innovative ways in a second. So they're getting, level of competition, number one. Number two, I think it's marketplace distortion is the reason that this is happening. And what I mean by marketplace distortion is that people know that's what's coming, that it's a sales call that's coming. They know that I'm going to watch this webinar, and at the end of the webinar, they're going to ask me to book a call, or they're going to ask me to buy something. People know it. And so it's distorted the marketplace to the point where the ad costs are just rising. And at first I thought, well, that's only in the B2B space, a company looking to purchase business help from another company, business consulting, business coaching. I was that's the only space that they'd be able to catch on. Not the case though, because we have a lot of clients in the financial space, and we're also noticing that the B2C, this is a financial advisor or whoever, right, just as an example, who's trying to target 55 to 75 year olds, it's getting even more expensive for those guys to get on the phone as well. So, and that's B2C. So it's not just B2B ad cost rising, it's overall CPA rising across multiple industries. And it's marketplace distortion because we actually reached out to some of the leads that we got this retirement or this financial advisor, and we reached out to some of his leads just to kind of like see what their thought process was. And a lot of them were saying like, yeah, man, I didn't self-book because frankly, I've self-booked before, I didn't get called, or, you know, you can't really trust people, or I just kind of knew that was coming and I didn't really see anything different in the VSL, so that sort of thing. And so they're saying that they knew that self-pitch or that self-booking pitch was going to be made. And what I mean by self-booking is that they like go watch a video and they book on their own without you having to follow up or do it manually, right? So even the B2C market, people are becoming more aware that that's what the strategy is, and it's distorting the marketplace and driving costs up. So how can you fix this, you guys? There's a couple of things, and I'm going to give you guys some really cool ideas, and you're kind of probably going to be like, what the fuck? No, thank you. When in fact you should embrace these ideas, because these are ideas that I'm not going to say I revolutionized or I invented them by any means. And I'm not going to say I'm the only one talking about these ideas, but I will say that there's not a lot of people talking about them. And but they work. Or they've worked for our clients, and I want to give you guys these ideas. My job and my goal from doing these videos is to give you information that you're probably not going to get somewhere else. I don't want to feed you the same generic information. I want to give you information you're not going to get somewhere else, and it's going to be based off of the thousands of clients that we have and the hundreds of different industries that we've worked in. And so here are some ideas of how you guys can drive your costs down. Number one, super obvious, and we're going to start with this one because it is important, is your organic methods need to be like super ramped up. If you're noticing extremely high costs or rising costs with getting someone on the phone, the best thing that you can do to drive your costs back down, or at least drive your overall ROI for your business or your marketing department back down, is to complement it with organic, so that you're getting people to book organically and you're paying to get people on the phone as well. So your overall, for the entire marketing department, your costs will start to go down, hopefully. Okay, that's number one. Number two is, I love this idea. We started charging for our consultations because it's unexpected and it's new. And the thing is that a lot of consults, right, the strategy session model, you're promising to deliver value on these calls with people, and yet and a lot of times you are actually delivering value. You're giving them a strategy, you're giving them free advice, you're helping them pave the way, you are demonstrating what needs to happen, and you're giving them frameworks. And so you're actually delivering value. And if you're delivering that much value, why wouldn't you pay for it? Or why wouldn't you charge for it, right? You worked really hard to develop that level of value, to develop your pitch, to develop the strategy session flow and framework. Why not charge for it? And we've gone up to charge as much as like $200 or $300 per consult. And you get a lot less consults, but the consults buy a significant portion of the time. And it's actually easier to get someone on the phone in a lot of ways. So here's what we did, was we started for really cheap. We're like, we do consults for $50. And that worked so well, you guys. Our costs actually went down massively, okay? Our overall cost went down, our ROI went up. So we're not making a ton of money on the call itself because it's $50, like, we're not trying to monetize or make money because by selling consults, we're trying to make money by selling the service on the consult, right? But by doing that, we had such an increase in actual sales conversions by charging for the call in the first place. Because I haven't quite diagnosed why, but I would just imagine it's because it pre-framed them to buy and got them ready to buy, because they've already given you $50 and now they know they're paying for your expertise, so therefore they trust you and they're ready for the pitch at the end of the call. So the sales conversion rates went up massively. What didn't go down a ton was the amount of calls being booked. Let me say that again. Conversion rate went up massively, but the amount of calls being booked did not go down significantly. enough to tell you guys about it. Meaning that, let's say before we started charging, a client was making or getting 10 calls per week. Let's just say for easy math, right? When we started to do the charging $50 and that was it per consult, well, they paid, they watched the video or whatever it was, the strategy for getting them on the phone. Sometimes it was a PDF download that got them on the phone. Sometimes it was a video. Sometimes it was a straight ad that got them on the phone. Sometimes it was a manual chatbot follow-up type thing that got them on the phone. If before that they were getting, let's say, 10 people on the phone per week when it was free, when we started charging about $50, we were getting like 7 to 8 people on the phone. So maybe a little bit less, obviously, but the conversion rate went up. So the overall ROI direct from your advertisement skyrockets, which is what you're trying to do. So the cost per call didn't really change much. It actually got more expensive to get people on the phone because you're getting less calls but spending the same amount of money. Only like 2 to 3 less calls, let's say, or 20% less calls. But your conversion rate skyrocketed. Ours skyrocketed to about 40% more than whatever it was. So therefore, your overall CPA for the client, or ROI, this is math, you guys, so hopefully I'm not getting too technical in a live video, went down significantly, which is really, 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 really awesome. Well, the CPA went down, the ROI went up. So that's another idea that I want you guys to look into, is to integrate a pay per play type thing. We actually has started thinking about doing that for our own consultancy. So we did that in the financial space for one of our clients. We did that in the tech service space, and we've also done that in the expert, like, hey, hire me as a consultant or coach space as well. And it worked really well for all of them. So that's another idea. We considered implementing that for our consultancy. So for, as you guys know, we're after some pretty large fish for our consultancy. 7, 8 figure companies going through specific problems. I'm not pitching you, just giving you reference. Going through very specific problems. We're marketing to those problems, and we're saying, hey, if you've got any of these 3 problems, you need to call us type thing. And we're actually starting to charge for those. We're going to try it with a small test group. So very excited about that. But that's another option. Thirdly, another option for you guys, which I quite like this one, is that you can, instead of getting people to, let's say your funnel has like a video and the video is pitching a call. Before, the model was just that people were expected to book immediately after they watched that video. And if not, they got like a couple email reminders, right? Like an automated, like, hey, you watched the video, but you didn't book a call. And then they get that over a couple days or weeks or whatever to try to remind them to book. And that was kind of the standard. However, what we started doing, which drives your cost per lead up, but your cost per call back down, significantly down, where it actually evens out and makes it better for you. So what we did was we started collecting phone numbers at the Optin page. And the reason why we did that was a number of reasons. And I can't remember how we convinced them to give us their phone numbers. Some of them, I don't think we gave them a reason. We just said, enter this information and get this free resource or get the case study or whatever. And I think a few other ones we tried to incentivize them, like, we're going to text you this resource right now, or something like that, where we wanted them to, we told them we were going to text them. So we started collecting the phone numbers on the Optin page. And this was in the expert space as well in the software as a service, so SaaS space as well. So we collected the phone numbers and the financial space, collected the phone numbers on the Optin page, and then what you guys can do is you can go in and you can do it manually, or you can get a software to do it for you, which texts them some automated stuff, which is like, hey, thanks for watching, hey, blah, 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 blah. But then what you can actually do is you can manually text these people. And there's softwares that can help make this easier, but there's also VAs that are great for this. And you can purchase just a simple Skype number to use this for, or if you have like you can go out and pick up another phone line so that it's like maybe an office phone, so that not all of these texts are going directly to your phone. That's what we did at one point. Is I had 2 phones, and one phone number was like for the office, and then I upgraded, so I got like 2 phones. And we just used the old phone, and that was like the office texting phone. And it was also connected to one of the laptops too, because like iCloud is cool. So we were like literally manually text. And so what we were doing was we were nurturing these people via text by providing kind of like the chat bots, where the chat bot will like drop off a PDF with information and be like, hey, you watch this or use this and see you later type thing. Similar with the text, but similar with the text, but then we'd also manually, so that they knew it was a human being and not a chat, would text them and convince them to book a call. And what that did was, obviously we paid a lot more per lead because you're trying to collect more information from them. But we actually got a lot cheaper cost per call because we're manually texting people, as opposed to expecting them to self-book and then just giving them a series of automated emails. We were manually texting people. And again, you guys can use softwares for it. You guys can use a VA for it, or you can do it manually on your own if you're just getting started and you can't afford those things. So those are, let's see, what have we covered? We cover organic, right? Going organic, using that. We covered charging for phone calls, and we also covered collecting phone numbers from people where your campaign, and we even sometimes have them ditch the email and just give us a phone number. That worked really well to get the lead back down in cost. And we were just texting people, like we didn't care about getting their email because nobody reads their email anyways nowadays. And so those are my top 3 reasons, or top 3 skills or strategies that you guys can use to getting your cost per call down, or just getting more people on the phone. I really, really love all of these options. I've tried them in multiple different industries. If you need, go back and rewind this video so you can see the spaces that I've already tested out each individual strategy, because some of them I tried in some industries, other strategies I tried in other industries. So I'm not saying they're going to work in every space, but if I listed the industry next to the strategy, it means that I did test it and it did work for us. So I want you guys to consider this stuff as you're moving forward and trying to just bump up your ROI overall as a company and really ultimately grow. As well as, even if you're just doing organic, there's a lot of cool concepts that you guys can think about there, as far as like the manually following up and so on and so forth. Okay, so those are my favorite. In organic, you can also charge for consultations as well. So those are some really, really, really cool strategies for you guys if you're finding that it's very difficult to get people on the phone, or even more to the point, if it's getting more difficult than it was, like let's say last month or the last 6 months, if it's just getting harder and harder and or more and more expensive. These are my top 3 strategies for fixing that. All right. Hopefully you guys liked today's video. I'm going to be giving away 2 things. I guess you should do one hand. I'm going to be giving away 2 really, really awesome things next week, okay? For free, totally fucking free. And I'm not going to tell you what they are. Well, I am going to tell you. The first one is our golden email sequence, or part of our golden email collection. And if you guys don't know what our golden email collection is, our golden email collection is a collection of emails, email blasts that we have tested in, like, I think it's over 23 different industries, to get people on the phone. And then we've also adapted the same email and used it to get people to actually convert and buy, like, directly from the email, okay? And it works really, really well. So if you have a list of over 1,000 people on it, these emails were going to be super, super valuable. One of our clients only had 1,200 people in his email list, hadn't messaged them in over a year. We sent out part of our golden email collection, and he booked 10 calls per day for like a week straight off of a 1,200 person email list. That's insane, you guys. In a market that was also very crowded. So that's how powerful these emails are. If you guys have an email list and you're like, how can I actually monetize my email list? How can I actually make money from it? How can I actually book more calls from it? Because you should be able to get significant calls from it. I'm going to be giving it away totally for free next week, as well as another surprise bonus. However, we're only giving away limited amounts of each thing. One, for the golden email sequence, I think we cut it down to 50 people. And for the second bonus, we're only giving away 1 spot for it, okay? And we're giving away all that stuff next week. So what can you do to make sure that you're going to see these posts? What can you do to make sure that you are going to be able to get one of those 50 golden email sequences, or collections, right? How do you guarantee you're going to get one of 50? Well, 2 things. When I end this live video, or over in like the little side column, if you're on your desktop, you'll see like a little a pop-up that says turn on notifications. So it'll tell you, hey, notify me the next time Juliet goes live. You want to click that because that's how we're going to be giving away these giveaways. So you want to make sure that you get the notification so that you're one of the first 50 people that pop on and can follow the steps to get the giveaway. In addition to that, if you're watching this after the fact, we'll also be doing one giveaway via video and one giveaway via post. And you want to make sure that you see that post. So how can you do that? What you guys can do is you guys can go directly to my profile. You click on it, and there's like a little 3-column like little button thing that you can push. And you can push it and you open it up. It's going to give you options like, do you want to make Juliet your best friend, close friend, or whatever else? There's also a button that says see first. And if you go to my profile, you can say see first. And what that's going to do is going to make sure that it puts my content at the top of your news feed every single time. Why would you guys want to do that? Number one, hopefully you know that I'm providing value. Hopefully I'm providing more value than pretty much everybody else on your timeline. So if there's anybody that you want to tune into and listen to, hopefully I'm one of them. Number two, if not for that reason, then let it be a solely selfish reason, and you can turn off this see first function after next week if you wanted to. But let it be solely selfish, which is that you want to be one of the first 30 or 50 people to comment on my post next week, because that's where I'm going to be giving away the golden email sequence, but we're only giving it to 50 people. So how do you make sure that you're going to get that? Is to click the see first, because I'm not releasing the day that I'm going to do the giveaway. I'm not releasing the time. So the only way that you can guarantee that you get a spot is to click the see first function on my profile. In addition to that, make sure that you click the turn on notifications for when I go live. So thank you guys for watching today's live video. I'm super excited about next week. I'm super, super pumped about the giveaways that we have coming up for you guys. The golden email collection and specifically the surprise bonus, I think is going to really rock your guys' socks off. And they're both completely free. I'm fucking stoked. So hopefully this video is valuable for you guys. Please leave your thoughts below if you've tried some of them out. If you have cool KPIs, if you have other ideas for people, please drop them in the comments. Make sure to click the see first function on my profile. And I will see you guys in my next live video. Bye.